Welcome back to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is August 9th, 2020, and this is episode 62. So we're going to take a look at The Resistance. It's issue 1 of 6. This is a free comic book day event publication. I picked it up today as I was dropping off some books at the bookstore, and AWA is the publisher. And it's got a couple shorter stories in here, just a few. Cullen Bunn's Bite Size and Nelson Blake's E-Ratic. Oh, excuse me, I got that wrong. Cullen Bunn and Nelson Blake did Bite Size, and Care Andrews did E-Ratic. But mostly they give you a full first comic issue of The Resistance. Now, I like the artwork pretty well on here. The writing's pretty strong. But I did have some issues with just the storyline in general. There's a few tropes that take place. We'll take a look right in here. So this story is also written by J. Michael Straczynski and Mike Diodato Jr. I guess that's how you say it, Diodato, or something similar. Diodato Jr. He's the artist. Frank Martin is the colorist. And the story, it starts out, and I don't know if they threw this together knowing that what was going on in Hong Kong way back in November, December, and thought that would be a good idea. But it is about a pandemic that goes across the whole world and wipes out millions of people. Now, it starts out, and this is kind of a trope, where they're showing, I guess it's supposed to be different TV sets. In the past, it looked more like the 3x4 TV proportions, but now it looks like they're trying to go with just a flat screen TV here. And you've got like these different people debating on where this pandemic has started and who's causing it, who's behind it all. And you can see at the start of it, all the assemblies are full of people, and they just kind of go back and forth here. There's a big uprising within the United States. Portland just blows out, just like now. I mean, it's kind of funny that that's happening now. So it's kind of portended what actually happened. So they talk about, people were terrorized. There's fear. It shows people stocking up, and it shows people just giving up as this white woman's about to jump off the roof before she catches it and dies. Now, we never really see what the symptoms are, so we have no idea. This whole thing is very invisible as far as what they're showing in the comic. We don't know how it spread. We just know it spreads very easily, that a lot of people have gotten it. It's wiping out people left and right. There's a little bit of loose play with the numbers in here. Just as like 4 million. Oh, and everybody's gone. But 4 million would not wipe out everybody. That would just probably be a metro city only for one state. So they kind of plays a little fast and loose, and you're never quite sure what it is. This comic is also very woke. I put it on the woke scale of 9 of 10, with the people that are in it. White men, of course, are evil, and everybody else is great. As far as the comic goes. So what happens is Moscow is trying to figure out what's going on. And it turns out somebody very close to the premier there, the daughter has it. And so that means they're all going to get wiped out. In China, they're trying to stem the tide here. And so they basically send off nukes to the area before the contagious area, hoping that will burn out the disease before it gets to further into China, but it doesn't work. It keeps going. It's a pretty insidious pandemic, and people rise up. They're upset, but in the meantime, nothing really happens, and people perish. As you can see, the assemblies start to dwindle, and the number of people that are showing up. This is, I believe, London now. The streets are becoming deserted. So you think like almost everybody's wiped out, but it's a little confusing. And then all of a sudden, boom, good news. Hey, the pandemic has stopped. It's dormant. And so some people are kind of warning that, well, it's dormant. It's not gone. It could come back at any time. But most people are taking this as a good sign. And they're still working on a vaccine in the meantime, just kind of like here, kind of what's going on now. And so then you have those debating television personalities again saying what's going on with it. And here's where the plot really kind of starts, where apparently there was a set of twins, and I think they got it, but they lived through it. So, because they talk about 5% survived, and I don't know if that means 5% of the whole world or 5% of the people that got the contagion. So it's a little unclear there. That's why I say they play kind of fast and loose with some of the numbers here. But her sister and they're twin sisters. One of them, or both of them survive, but one of them has, I guess they have special powers if you survive this thing, which doesn't say why. So one of them said she's got to sacrifice herself for some reason. I don't know why. And she floats up and kind of dissipates into the night air. But she doesn't really say what that's going to do or anything. So, and this other, so the other sister's at the graveyard site. She puts one flower down, touches it, and it turns into a whole bouquet. So she's obviously got some kind of powers from this as well. Now there's an election, kind of just like what's going on right here in 2020, and a dark horse, a third party candidate actually wins, and he looks a lot like Ed Harris. So I don't know if the writer is casting this or if the artist is just taking photos of already, I mean, look at that, it looks like Ed Harris there, of already established actors and just tracing over them. I don't know. It is very photo realistic as far as they're heavily using references here. So I'm assuming that's what's going on here. So third party guy, he's got some insidious plan, just like Mr. Trump, like some people would say Mr. Trump would have. So his number one aide says, well, he wants to build a wall, I'm thinking, across Mexico border. And his aide saying, well, the pandemic didn't start in Mexico. It actually started in New Mexico, and it's from this site here. So they don't go in, and once again, they don't really say what it is or how it's affecting the people or where it came from. We know it came from outer space, but I mean, like, what brought it here? There's no backstory, and why people get magical powers if they are infected with it. And so it goes on, and so basically the president tells his aide, if you're not with me, you just got to leave. No hard feelings. Is okay, well, I'm going to leave. No hard feelings. And as he's leaving, he gets kidnapped and brought away. But somebody up in the office, looks like this Asian woman, saw it all. And so they talk about the survivors, which I guess have magical powers, the discards, which I'm not sure what that is, if that's a superhero or what. It's just in the shadows. I have no idea. The beautiful, I'm assuming that they didn't get it, and they're white, so they're beautiful and whatever. The hidden, people that are hiding out from the whole thing, the hopeful that are just using religious as their crutch, and then the lost, which are, I guess, runaways and people that are homeless. And look at the way this guy in the background's drawn. It looks like he's cut off at the shins. It's kind of a weird angle there, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Looks like an odd drawing, though. So overall, this is the end of the first issue. The searching, the transcendence, the mad. So it looks like the guy's gone mad. He's distorted. So I'm assuming he got sick. And the dangerous, the resistance, to be continued. So it's kind of a trope to me that there's a number of books like this where the first issue, they don't really give you too much. They're kind of playing on that. It's more scary, more mysterious if you don't know what the adversary is. Kind of like with Jaws and Alien, and I had another one, I can't think of it. But like you don't really, Godzilla. you don't see the actual monster till well into the story, and you've already got it built up in your mind what it could be and what could be so horrible about this. This, I'm not sure if it's going to be that horrible. At this point in time, it just kind of seems like they're making it so you have to buy the second issue to find out what happens, which is not a bad ploy. But I think there's so many comics like this, and it's so many that are such a letdown. If they were great, if it was like, wow, that was really neat the way they pulled it off, it'd be one thing. But right now, I'm not seeing it yet. I'm not getting a good feeling for this. I may check out the second issue just to see if I'm right, but and then I'll say that I was wrong. But I'm thinking this is kind of a red herring here. So one of the shorter stories in here is Bite Size, Colin Bunn, and looks like it's about these kind of robot AI type things that escape a facility. They don't really show you too much except for escaping the facility. They don't show you the AI itself, and then they hitch up onto a trucker. That's pretty much the end of it. So nothing too big here. E-Ratic. Some high school freshman has superpowers. Doesn't really say how he got it or anything. He does all these things. His clothes are torn off. He saves all these people from something. I'm not sure what he's saving him from, or just the baby that was falling. I don't know. So he runs off to school, and he apparently has an older brother at the same school who's kind of a jock bully. And that's where the story ends, and he makes a friend with this guy here, Bijou. And that's the end of that story. So I don't know what to make of that one quite yet. And she's got her Starbucks cup, so you know that it's a truly, I don't know, at least the kid's white, but he is a kid. It's not like a full-grown white man being the hero here. It's the full-grown white man here is the bully, so, and it's his brother, so we'll see. So nothing there really caught my eye. I can't recommend it at this time. I will take a look at the second issue to see if it actually is an interesting conclusion to the first, or like a nice stepping stone from the first. Like, this was well done. It's well written. It just seems like it's playing on that same trope. Buy the second issue to find out. And there's no characters in here to me that that make you want to find out. They're just very standard, one-dimensional characters, basically so far. So I'm not going crazy waiting for the next issue. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this. Please subscribe, please like, please comment, and I'll have more reviews obviously coming up. And thanks for stopping by the Temple of Tomes. This is Indie Comics Jones. You have a good evening. Take care.